Okay, now we've got the motor assembly, which we had made earlier, and we can bolt that into the robot now. It's best to go at it like this, tip one side in first, then tip the other side in. Don't really worry about where the arm linkage falls or goes right now. We'll move it around. And we got the two screws that originally came with the gear motor that we've set aside. Poke the screw through. Actually, I normally poke them both through. Just like that. Then, I don't know how much of this is showing up on the camera, but I find it easier than getting my fingers down there just to have the nut stick to the end of a little screwdriver and then put that on the end of the screw, and then if you just spin the nut with your finger, it starts. I don't know if this shows more what I'm going on. Obviously I can't spin it in this position because I only have two hands, but you can just reach in there with the needle nose or reach in there with your fingers, but my fingers are too big and fat to reach in there. Of course, once they're started, then you can just lift the thing up and go at it with a screwdriver and hold the nuts with your fingers. Ooh, that sounds dirty. Until they get taut. Okay. Once they start getting a little tight, you want to grab hold of them with some pliers or a needle nose or whatever you've got handy, and really tighten them up good. Before we're done, we will put a little bit of goop on those so we don't have to worry about those vibrating loose. Okay. So there we have that. Now we've got this, we had never really adjusted the shaft, so we can make sure our Allen set screw is loose. I guess I could leave the key in there. And the idea is you would want the shaft the same amount on both sides. You can kind of just visualize it. You know, you can see how much is here and how much is here, and they should be about the same. And we can always change it later if you really don't get it quite right the first time. But don't forget to go ahead and really torque it down in case you are right, because you might forget to go back and check it later and it might work loose, and then you'll have a problem. So now we're getting somewhere. We've got our basic installation. What we need to put in next, and the reason that I left all of these bottom leg screws out, is we need to put in these pivot plates for the walking arms. And if those screws are in there, you can't slide this in there. So you can put them in, but you're just going to have to take them out again if you do. Alright? The hole on these pivot plates will go always towards the outside. Like if this plate was going to be used over here, it'll go like that. And the bent angle will face up. And it's going to basically catch these holes. We're going to line up here and here, the same on the back. Okay? So it's going to sit like inside there. Let's try it. Let's try it and see. You know what I usually find one of the easier ways to start these rods is I have an old screwdriver that I bent, but this could just be a piece of wire with a bent end. I use it for a lot of things, but it's handy in something like this because you can reach in, you know, get in something and just cradle it then. And in the case of starting this plate, it could be kind of handy to cradle that pin until it drops through the hole, like so. And once you get that started, you can just tap it on up until we get up there, which right about up in here somewhere. We should be able to see when we get it lined up. I think it may be close. If it is, I'll start a screw through it. I know the camera's not going to really pick up much of what's going on here, but you can see daylight through here when the parts line up right. Right there. And you see, we got the one rod comes through, and this is just about where the rod should have ended up, is dead center in the leg. So we'll set up this other side exactly the same way. Tap that on up. No different than last time. So now we've got the two pivot plates in place, and again that one ended up being exactly where it should. It's dead center. Got this screwed in. So now we could actually connect up our arm linkage if we'd like, and I think we would like. Again, we're going to, in this case, oh, since we have those brackets in, if you wanted, you could go ahead and put all your other screws in the back, because we won't be doing anything that I can think of that would cause you to ever need to remove the back screws at this point. On this linkage, we're going to use one of the number 2 screws that we've been using on the sheet metal into the top hole on those plastic links. I'm just screwing one in now, and then I'm going to take it back out so it'll be easier to start when I actually have the linkage there. I'll take this and I'll poke through the eyelet and line it up. I am going to send these long small Phillips screwdrivers with the kits too, because you can get this one and a common one, both of which you need to build it. Again, it's a dollar store, it's $1, and they're actually darn good screwdrivers. You don't want to over tighten these. Again, it's just like the other. You want to leave quite a bit of little gap there. Plus you didn't want the screw going in so far that it would drag on the metal frame. You can see now that's now connected. Cool, huh? Okay, let's get this side hooked up. Take a screw. And this time I won't try pre-starting it in the plastic. Let's just see if I can do it from the go. Yep, I'm going with the top hole in the little servo arm. Leaving some slot. Look at that. Let's just check what we've got so far. So we got arm linkage moving, and we got arm balls turning. So far everything's happy.